Good morning, Creekside. Hope you're all well. You're getting me full shelter at home now. Spit up on, pooped on already, unshaven, unshowered, in my slippers. And I thought, you know what? Y'all deserve to see me the way it's been the last few days. Glorious. This is my new little grandson, Bodi, who's beyond words. I don't know how you fall in love this quickly. I just wanted to bring you kind of some thought, and I may have to stand up with this little guy if he gets fussy, but just bring you a thought for this week. Yesterday, we sat as a family. I'll try not to cry or break down, but it was so beautiful. But we had to kind of work through some family stuff, all six of us, my son, my daughter, my future daughter-in-law, and my son-in-law. And there's just been, so much that's gone on with this pandemic that I think we underestimate how much it affects us. And what was interesting was my son-in-law said to me this morning, 95% of what we had to work through was brought about, honestly, because of this pandemic. Because it creates distance and it creates misunderstanding and assumptions, and there's grieving with it. My son and future daughter-in-law not able to hold this little Bodi guy, because they haven't been able to quarantine as well the way they want to, because they're with roommates and all that junk. And then my poor future daughter-in-law's wedding is all messed up and moved, and then they're going to still get married in May, and yet we can't hug each other. And it's just, a lot comes with that. And so I'm just finding during this time, we have to really communicate. We have to not assume. We have to not judge. We have to understand. It's my son and I were on a mountain bike ride the other day, and he had this great comment. He just said, the problem is we've all got data. We've all got correct data. We've all got different data. The data keeps changing. And so, and then there's a ton we don't know. And what happens is we all see this thing from our own set of data and perspective. And then we decide, and I've done this a number of times, I'm the smart one and you're the idiot because you're not doing it the way I am. You shouldn't wear a mask. You should wear a mask. You should never wear a mask. You should always wear a mask. All these things. It's funny with this little guy. We give him grace. I give him so much grace. He deserves that. But we don't do that with each other all the time. I love this verse in our Colossians book that we're studying. Colossians chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt." What an amazing comment, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt. That idea that, first of all, how do we make things better in our speech to one another? How do we elevate this other person like salt? And then how do we preserve? How do we bring somebody to a place where they can last and endure and be encouraged and strengthened as a result of hanging out with us and listening to our speech? How do we grant grace? That verse in Ephesians 1:8 that says, the grace of God, the riches of his grace that he lavishes upon us. This is how we do it. We just constantly remember what he has lavished on us, how kind he is to us. And then we extend that grace, not assuming we're right. Who cares who's right? It's, what do you need right now? What is your level of comfortability? What do you need me to communicate to you? What might you need to hear in this? And I think what we need to hear first and foremost is that we're thinking of one another and that we regard one another and that we're important to the other person, not necessarily all the stupid practicalities. Let's allow each other that grace during this time. Thank you so much for all your prayers and your well wishes and your emails and your texts about this guy. We waited 2 weeks to come down, and Linda and I just keep commenting. I don't know how you fall in love this quickly with somebody, but it's just so beautiful. We love you. We miss you. I long to hold one another and to hug and to give you a holy kiss, if you will, from the scriptures. May God, in His mercy and His grace, may you experience that in the deepest way this week. And may you extend that grace through your speech and understanding, seasoned with salt to one another. I love you all.